Hello everybody, we are back. Damionblackgear doing a set review for Magic Origins. We are cheating on the source, or the salvations, in order to see the cards. To my knowledge, the entire set has been released, all 272 cards, at least released in spoiler version. Whether or not it's released in real life by the time you're seeing this, that may be a whole different matter. We're going to be looking at a couple of quick things when we see cards. One, we're going to take a look at viability. Two, we're going to take a look at where will this go, and three, we're going to take a look at whether or not I would touch this thing. Most of these would probably be answered no, as a lot of them are reprints. I do not know every reprint, so just acceptable. I think we'll just strike three. Three is not necessary. So let's go ahead and start off with the white cards. This is Akron Jailer. This is a Master Trapper reprint, essentially. Not a one-for-one reprint. I say that because it's actually an overcosted version. His ability costs too much. Outside of draft, when you have an empty turn to do absolutely nothing and you just want a 1-1 in your deck, this guy's going in. I don't think it's viable in just about anything outside of draft when you're kind of stuck. Too mana intensive. Empyrean or Ampirin Tactician. I am not reading today. That's probably pronounced wrong anyway. This is a 4 mana 3/3 essentially in white that, if you have a big team, can give them an attack bonus. This is not viable, and I wouldn't play this. I don't even know if I'd play this in draft. We'll see as we take a look through. I'm seeing just on here a 3/3 looks to be about the larger size of the creature, so probably in that sense if you just want to be able to swing through with something, but I don't really see this guy doing much. Anointer of Champions. Target attacking creature gets... God, what is that? Kabuto Moth? I don't think. Let me see here. Let me actually make that the active window. Let's just try taking it. There was that Kamigawa thing. Kabuto Moth. Yeah. That's what that reminds me of. So, let's go ahead and Control Tab back over. So that's what that reminds me of. That card was actually pretty good just because you could sneak in a lot of extra damage, as well as it worked for blockers. This, or did it work for blockers? I don't remember. Yeah, it worked for blockers. And it gave them +1/+2. So not as good as Kabuto Moth, but still a good card. I would probably suggest... I wouldn't play this in a constructed format. Archangel of the Tides. 4 mana for a 5/3 or 3/5. Flying, as long as this is untapped creatures and planeswalkers you control. Can't be attacked unless they pay 1. You can't block unless you can pay 1. This card's great. There's no other way to put it. The triple white's a little heavy, but I mean, if you can fit that in. You can work your mana base around that. It's low enough costed that the aggro, or well, nowadays aggro decks can play this without a problem. Outside of standard, modern could play this. Legacy you could, but you're going to want to actually have a little bit heavier white set up into your mana base, which they will adjust for if need be. Oromancer is a reprint, I know that. Not a very good card, never was. One day will be. Even Battle Priest enters, gain 3 life. That is terrible. This comes into play, you gain 3 life, and you have a 3/3 for 6. 3/3 flyer for 6. That is terrible. Do you know what Shivan Dragon does? Because it beats this card. Actually, every dragon beats this card. I feel like the Angels beat this card. This card is just not good. No. Let's see. Spirit 2/2 for 3. Flying. Cast an enchantment. Put a +1/+1 counter. Yay, something that finally stays around. No more end of turn. Something that can do something. This could actually make it see play. I hope they reprinted Faith's Fetters. I doubt it, seeing as we can see that far. That would have been great. Never mind, though. I'm not bitter. Celestial Fair. Target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. You know, that's actually pretty unique for this. Like, it's a sacrifice effect that's attacking or blocking. Usually white only gets the attacking side of it. I can't think of any card that actually allows it to do the blocking side, and this will now. That's kind of nice. Useless if you have trample, unless your creature has trample on the blocking side, but hey, it's an idea. I don't think that this will see play in the older formats. In Modern, Legacy, definitely not Vintage. If we see anything that's Vintage worthy, I will definitely pipe up if I notice. Those cards usually raise in price quite quickly. Vintage, the money format. So draft, I could see this will see play. It's good removal. It's the easiest way I can put that. Charging Griffin. Whenever attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So a 3/3 for 4 again. There are a lot of 3/3s. This is what I'm seeing. That other card, that 4/4 for 3, is getting worse and worse. Cleric of the Forward Order. That'll gain 2 life for each creature control. Okay, so for each other one, it's a muscle burst. Except for you gain 2 life. I can't think of what the other one was called that actually did that. It's a bear. It's a bear that'll gain you 2 life. I mean, that's not terrible. If there turns out to be a really good aggro burn deck, I mean, and you're not going to play the freaking Core Firewalker or Silver Knight or anything else that actually does stuff against red decks, this guy's another option. That is your budget option. Go for it. You get 2 of these guys, you can gain up to 6 life between the 2 of them. If you could drop all 4 of them into play at the same time, each one would give you 8 life. 8 times 4 is 32. That's a 32 life bonus. Yeah. All 4 at the same time. Good luck. Council. 2 mana for a 2/1 Renowned. Renowned is whenever they deal combat damage or they deal damage. Combat damage. Deals combat damage to a player. They get a +1/+1 counter. Renowned is, I guess, just a thing that they get. They never stop being renowned. First strike, so it's a 2/1 that turns into a 3/2. Whenever it attacks, if it's renowned, other attacking creatures you control get +1, and it'll bump your team. This is actually a pretty good card then. You just need to find a way to get it through. And if you have any type of tokens or anything like that, yeah. Then there's that other 3-cost thing. I don't even know if that's standard legal. I might want to look into that. Enchanted Ascetic. Enters battlefield, may be destroyed, targeted enchantment. Okay, yeah, whatever. That is exactly how I feel about this card. Mainly because it's a 1/1. I don't care that it's 2. Enshroud Mist. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to it this turn if that creature is renowned. Untap it. Okay, that is just a lot of random things. And they put Khal Drogo in the picture, apparently. Kind of cute touch there. Who's chopping through there? Is that Daenerys? No. I should stop making those jokes. He seems to be in a lot of these pictures. Probably going to be a lot of Khal Drogo running around here. Alright, Gideon's Phalanx. Oh, I don't think this is a very good card. Gideon's Phalanx. Good combat trick, though. That's about all. Or you could untop one of your renowned guys to make a block. Again, a combat trick. Doesn't really matter. Gideon Phalanx. Put 4... Wow. Oh, 7. Okay, well, essentially you're paying 7 for 8 mana's worth, or 8 damage onto the board. But still, that's a lot. Like, this is the cost for, like, 6 of them would be okay. Cards in graveyard. Creatures in your control gain indestructible until end of turn. That's completely irrelevant. It's surprise blockers that don't die. That's kind of nice, but this shouldn't even be there. Unless we see something that just like nukes graveyards, this should just say this does this, because there's no point. Like, it's not going to get played in any other format outside of Standard and Draft. So unless we're going graveyard based next time, it's just not happening. It's +1/+1, and you can tap something when it attacks. That's not the worst. I don't think it's a very good card, but it's not the worst. When you attack, you tap something on theirs. So, Hallowed Moonlight. Until end of turn, if a creature would enter the battlefield, if it was cast, So this is Containment Priest in a card with a draw card. Reminds me of Squelch for some reason. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Healing Hands is a healing salve +1 and a draw card for 2 more mana. Yep, that's not worth it. In other formats, there are better cards. In Draft, you don't want to have to do this. You'd rather, I mean, it's a filler card because you can at least cantrip off of it, but that's about it. This guy's a reprint, by the way. Not worth it. This card is bad. When heavy infantry enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. Okay. 3/4 for 5. Nope. Hexus Prison Warden. Flash. Okay. Nice little instant legendary guy there for 5 or a 4/4. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, is on the exile the creature until he leaves play. Okay, that's not the worst thing in the world, although there are a lot of weird situations where this is going to get weird. It does, however, give you an answer to smaller things. Is combat damage. Okay. I don't know if I don't like this. Like it doesn't seem like it's going to be helpful if that does anything or solves anything. Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, Renown. So for 3/2, this is okay. So this is what I would expect from just a cheap white creature. 3 mana for 3 power. That is a very common thing usually with their 1s and 2s. So I kind of accept it for the 3s as well. And this one can at least get a little bit bigger. So this is definitely draft playable. I would play this in draft and sealed. It's efficient. It's gets better than efficient, or its efficiency increases. Less waste, more valuable. Yeah, all of those things. This is actually a good card for limited. Standard, again, depending on what happens with the formats. I mean, if there's any type of mass removal or things like that, it might be a good idea to look at other options. Also, taking a look right now, I believe that there was the black, green, white deck that's running rampant with all sorts of things that have like infinite power and toughness. So, yeah, you guys can't see my hand gestures, but it was kind of like the CSC type thing. Knight of the White Orchid reprint. This will be a good card. It is not the greatest card, and this ability is overvalued. Like this involves you playing from behind, so unless you're on the draw, this isn't exactly what you're looking for. It will, if you're on the draw, ramp you on turn 3, because on turn 1 they're going to play a land. On turn 2 you're going to need to play a land, which will catch you up to them, and on turn 3 you can play this thing. So take it with a grain of salt. But it's still a good card. It's 2 first striker. It's 2 powered first striker for 2 mana, which is not bad. If there's anything that gives death touch, that means that they have to block it with 3 creatures just to be able to kill it. All those creatures have to have at least 2 power, and if you have some way to give it death touch, you're probably pumping it up as well. I wouldn't focus on that in your draft strategy, by the way. Knightly Valor. By the way, they have built most of a white weenie deck in here, so it's just a thing. Knightly Valor. Put it on the battlefield. Why does this seem like a reprint? It is a reprint. Basically, you make a knight and you give somebody knight stuff. That's about it. These 2 cards are the same thing. This is actually the flipped version. So we start off with this 1 mana 2/1. So you get a Savannah Lion, and if he and 2 other creatures attacked, you flip him. He can give himself indestructible, which is kind of nice because otherwise there'd be no way that you're flipping this thing. Let's see. Let's clip over to text. There we go. That's kind of nice. I would have rather zoomed in, but hey, I can live with this. +2. This guy has no minus. Why do we... Oh, I guess they can attack and do damage to him. Up to 1 target creature. Attacks Gideon. Okay, so it's got a cheapened version of his original ability. Of his 5 mana ability. Stuff you get is indestructible. Untap it. And turn him into a 4/4 indestructible planeswalker, prevent damage, blah blah blah. So the only way to kill this thing is to attack it in Planeswalker or bolt it or do other things while it's in Planeswalker form, because once it's used this, you're not taking a counter off of it through damage. Like how I throw that in there? Oh man, this is kind of... It's a good upgrade for him, and it's for free, so I mean... And you can use this ability so you can get like a bad block out of them. If there's some type of token maker, like if Raise the Alarm was in this, then this would be a good way to do that, because you could just simply turn 1 him, turn 2 Raise the Alarm, turn 3 you have 3 mana, attack with all 3 of your creatures, and then suddenly the question becomes, do you want to build a snowman? Because if you do, we just go ahead and make him indestructible, and you would get our Gideon at the end of the turn. End of the turn? At end of combat. Oh, that kind of changes things a little bit. So at end of combat he would flip, so you get to attack, use his indestructible, and force something else to attack him. That's not terrible. So you get your attackers through, or him through, the next time, and he's now up to 4 power, provided that the thing doesn't kill him. Alright, that's not bad. So his irregulars: tap target creature. Wait. Hold on, we're gonna highlight this. 3 mana? There it was. 2 mana. Granted, double white, but you're already paying double white. So just... Oh, even better. 4 for 4? Where's that other guy? 4 for 3. Seems like these guys are just like head and shoulders above him, those things. So... yeah, these I actually do say are a good card. Granted, they are rare in comparison. The other ones were not. But still, like, this isn't even that great. Like, this is super nice. I like this. Chances are you're not going to have, like, 8 white out on the field, though. So, you're not getting 4 creatures, most likely. Hopefully, you'll be able to get this guy Renowned, which this will help you to. Or you have other things that'll force blockers around. Or you can just Mighty Leap him. That's a reprint, by the way. So, moving forward, this is a good card. This might actually see constructed playable stats. Actually, I wouldn't doubt it if it did. The Tactician. Spell Mastery, 2 or more. Yeah. They also gain Vigilance. Okay, so... Okay, I was going to say, if this is an instant, this just completely negates it being an instant. But it is a sorcery, so you don't have to worry about that. You're giving something Unholy Strength. You're giving all your creatures Unholy Strength until end of turn. Which... hey, more power to you. Mighty Leap has always been a good combat trick. It's a good game-ending mechanic, ability card thingy. Just because you give your creature evasion, jump over his smack face. Kind of freaks people out, kind of makes them mad. So, this will see play in draft. And sealed. But not standard, most likely. Murder Investigation. Whenever enchanted creature dies, put X white soldier creatures where it's their power. Okay. That's about how interested I am in that one. Patron of the Valiant. When Patron of the Valiant in his battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. How many times did you guys want to... Yeah, no. It's a 5 mana 4/4. You're praying that there was a Sarah Angel, because that would be it. That's about all it is. Sarah Angel without Vigilance. This is outside of the freaking spirit things. This is the only thing that we've seen that has counters put on it. So, yeah. Renowned 1. Search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it in your... So this is a very cheap Stoneforge Mystic, which in the format right now, I do not believe that there's very effective equipment to hook up. So this guy does not matter. The good thing about all this Renowned stuff, by the way, is that if you blink these creatures, like remove them from the battlefield and then put them back in any way, shape, or form, they are new creatures, essentially, that are not Renowned. Sentinel of the Eternal Watch. Vigilance. At the beginning of each tap a creature. Okay. So you tap one of their creatures on their turn, and your person is always available to block. Good game. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a white 4/4. Wait, this is Sigil. Reprint. This is this was for a period of time a kill condition and Enchantress for Legacy. So that there is that. I don't know if it still is. I highly doubt it. Usually they found other things by now. I know there's something else in this set. I know because I looked at the spoilers before they were finished. And that other thing looked a lot better. So, Stalwart Avon. Congratulations, we got another bird. At least this one stops being a 1-3. All the other birds seem to be 1-3s and stay 1-3s forever. This one at least goes to a 2-4. Go. By the way, all the other 1-3s got played in drafts, so expect, and they were the same cost, so expect this one to see play. Doesn't mean I have to like it. Starfield Nyx, 5 mana enchantment. So they are doing a couple of different enchantments. So far, not very many of them have been that good. Not enough to warrant a actual sigil deck, but hey, that's just a theory. Starfield of Nyx. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may return target enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's nice. As long as you control 5 or more enchantments, all other non-aura enchantments you control. This is a... Wait. Changeover. As long as you control 5 or more enchantments, each non-aura enchantment you control is a creature in addition to... Okay, other. You guys ever heard about the trouble with opalescence and humility? It's layers question. That's what this was making me think of. So, I'm happy that they didn't completely create that problem all over again. But, it's still something that was there. Suppression bonds. By the way, I don't think that this is the greatest thing. 5 or more. So you have to actually build this deck, the sigil deck, in order to actually get that to work. Suppression bonds. Can't attack or block or its activated ability. So this is essentially non-land permanent. This is a worse version of Faith's Fetters at Faith's Fetters costs. Let's just get back up to the top there. There you go. Faith's Fetters. Not only did you gain 4 life, you stopped everything that they did, and it didn't care. It's permanent, not non-land. Why couldn't you just reprint Faith's Fetters? There's... whatever. So be it. Faith's Fetters saw play because it gained life in addition to all of this. Also, you could toss it on lands, which was relevant for Ravnica. This is not as good. It'll see play in Limited. I highly doubt it'll see anything constructed. Faith's Fetters saw constructed play. I was looking into it for Modern. That's how good Faith's Fetters is. Swift Reckoning. 2 more instants or sorceries in your graveyard when you cast it as though it had flash. Destroy target tapped creature. I think this is actually a good spell. This kills any creature that's attacking you, any creature that you use one of those other things on to stop it. It won't kill Bob, because Bob doesn't really go into the red zone, but that shouldn't be a problem anymore. So, I would actually recommend getting a couple of these, because if you want to build a white deck, it's good removal. Good defensive removal. Topin Freeblade. Vigilance Renowned. Okay, so you have a bear that can turn into a Watchwolf and has Vigilance. Totem Gilded Heartbeast. This is a reprint, isn't it? I think it's a reprint. Enter the battlefield, search your library for an aura. Put it in your hand. Congratulations, you've got it in an aura. Tragic Arrogance. Something I suffer from drastically. 5 mana, sorcery. Each player you choose from among the permanents they control, an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker. So each of the current types. Then each player sacrifices all the other non-land permanent. Non-land, that sucks. He or she controls. If it didn't have that non-land clause in it, this card would be awesome. That non-land clause ruins this card. Good versus the Swarm. That's about it. Non-land. Those random little clauses in there eat up a lot. But I understand. Wizards does not like land destruction. New players don't like land destruction. Old players don't like land destruction, but for different reasons. They want everybody to play Magic a certain way, and you know what? I like it. It helps keep the formats going. It helps get new players in and get the formats going. I just said that, but man, does it take away a huge dimension to the game. There's nothing like being terrified of your opponent casting Wildfire. Valor in Akros. I feel like this is Greek. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+. So everybody you get that comes in pumps your team. Not worth it. Not worth it in any format. No, that's not true. Situational in Draft. At best. You could make 4 knights and give your whole team +4/+4, and that seems pretty sick. But it's just still, oh man, that's a lot of work to do. So we have Thalia on a horse. A horse is a horse, of course, a horse. So Mr. Ed here is definitely a worthwhile creature if you weren't aware. I wish that this was Flash and that it wasn't a Pegasus, but you know what? Hey, I will deal with flying. I can do evasion. Flash really just would let you cheat it in. And that's about all. So it's low enough costed that you should be able to get it down. If you're playing this, you're probably playing Thalias as well, and so yeah, this is like Thalia. Instead of 4 Thalias, I'd run 3 Thalias and like 2 of these or something. Like, yeah, it's all whatever. You still have to worry in the formats that this is actually relevant in. You still have to worry about Pyroclasm, which doesn't care. So War Oracle. 4 damage for a 3/3 that turns into a 4/4 lifelinker. That's actually really good. Notice how I'm not complaining about this one. 4 mana for a 3/3, but that's because this 3/3 can turn into a 4/4 and it has lifelink. And this ability is highly underrated. It's very annoying. A lot of people don't like it when it starts to get rolling, especially the burn decks. And if this hits you, it's actually out of single spell burn range. So it works for me. Last up for the white cards, we have Yoked Ox. I'm going to call this the Yoki. The Yoki here is a 1 mana wall, essentially. That's about it. You have no other ability to do anything else with it, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But that is it for the white cards in this set. I will be back again tomorrow with the blue cards, and we can take a look at those. Well, I'll be taking a look at those here in a moment. Bye-bye.